Well, joining us as well this morning for more is Larry Pfeiffer. He's director at the Michael V. Hayden Center for Intelligence Policy and International Security at George Mason Uni. He was a senior director of the White House Situation Room during the Obama administration and a former chief of staff at the CIA. Larry, thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you on the show. So it's been about 36 hours since the news first broke, and I want to get your reaction first of all to the answers that Tulsi Gabbard and the CIA Director John Ratcliffe gave before that Senate committee, insisting the chat contained no classified information, yet seemingly shifting responsibility to Pete Hegseth. I mean, have you been assuaged in any way, in terms of the way security protocols were breached?
No, I've not been assuaged at all. The testimony they gave today was disappointing. It was evasive, a bit of finger pointing, as you suggested, towards another member of the cabinet. Ultimately, the two of them, Tulsi Gabbard and John Ratcliffe, had a responsibility, as anyone who attends a classified meeting, to understand who was in the room, what level of clearance they had, and what was the level of classification that you could talk to in that communications platform. Clearly, they did not do that. So,
Larry, you have 32 years of experience in the intelligence community. What sort of secure communication protocols or tools are in place for such high-level discussions? And I'm curious, how do you think these officials justified to themselves and each other to use the Signal app instead?
So as it was mentioned earlier, I ran the White House Situation Room for a period of time during the Obama administration. And as part of my responsibilities, we provided secure communication systems to the National Security Council, its staff, as well as the key players that attend what we call principals committee meetings or deputy committee meetings. The PC, and referenced in the name of the chat group, was principals committee. This suite of equipment would include computers, telephones, secure video teleconference, email capability, chat capability, facsimile capability, even in this day and age. They have that equipment in their offices. They have that equipment in their homes. They have it when they travel in a travel kit. So if they're in a car, they can use it. If they're in an airplane, they can use it. During my time, we actually had Secretary of State John Kerry coming in by secure video teleconference from his sailboat off of Martha's Vineyard in the Northeast United States. So very little excuse for them to use a commercial, non-government operated platform when a secure, government-controlled, government-operated platform was literally steps away from wherever they were seated or standing.
Larry, help us understand, what's at risk here. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it yourself. Some are saying no harm was done. President Trump himself saying that. The others are saying, look, it's encrypted, but help us understand, why it matters and what are your concerns, or why are there concerns when it comes to the location and timing of U.S. military strikes in particular?
Sure. So the information that Jeffrey Goldberg suggests was in this chat included movements of military troops, military aircraft, weapon systems that were being deployed, the timing of when they were going to be deployed. If that information had become available to an adversary, it could have afforded them the opportunity to set up defensive mechanisms, to move things so that they would not get harmed, and to fire perhaps against our forces as they were being deployed. So equipment, human beings, and the effects of what we were trying to accomplish could all have been harmed seriously. Yes, Signal is an encrypted communication. You use it, I use it. It's a wonderful device for protecting communications for most people. But the thing to remember is it is being used on a non-secured device, usually an iPhone or an Android, a laptop. The device itself is not secure. When you're typing on the device, your message is not encrypted. When it's stored on your device, the message is not encrypted. So there is an inherent lack of security around those devices. And there are foreign intelligence services like Russia, China, Israel, Iran, and others who have the wherewithal to surveil individuals' devices in a whole variety of ways. So there is some significant risk. In addition, a cell phone, a laptop that is a non-secure device, cannot be brought into what we call a SCIF, a secure compartmented information facility that is built and designed to protect against surveillance. So if they're using it on a cell phone, they are actually sitting in an area that is not protected against surveillance. So it puts what they are saying, what they're communicating at significant risk. In addition, if there was intelligence information talked about, well, intelligence is derived from sensitive sources and methods. It could be a human source that now could be perhaps at risk of being eliminated or jailed by their home country. Or it could be a technical intelligence, and you could be risking some very expensive platform that you're using for a variety of intelligence collection opportunities, and you would hate to lose the ability to collect or target. So a variety of things at risk, but fundamentally, it's the concern about the risk to the people involved.
Larry, as we heard, the Atlantic editor-in-chief, he says he didn't release the entirety of the messages that he saw because some information would have potentially put U.S. operations at risk. How do you think Mr. Goldberg handled this security breach? I mean, should he have released the suite of information that he was privy to?
I'm very grateful to Mr. Goldberg. He's a responsible journalist who did the responsible thing. I would hope that perhaps he has turned over his device to somebody in security to swipe it clean so that a foreign intel service couldn't now be targeting his device for that sensitive information that he kept out of the press. So he did the right thing. Not every, no aspersions being cast here, but not every journalist would necessarily have held back as he responsibly did.
Quite a remarkable story here. Thank you so much for your insights today. Appreciate it. We've been speaking with Larry Pfeiffer, director at the Michael V. Hayden Center for Intelligence Policy and International Security at George Mason University. He was a senior director of the White House Situation Room as well during the Obama administration and a former chief of staff at the CIA. Thank you.